There's a number of ways you can get free traffic from Google News. And Google News, of course, is at news.google.com. And it's important to note you don't have to be a BBC or a CNN to get a considerable amount of visitors from Google News. To give you an example, if I use the site command, site colon, to search for a site's contents, I'm going to search for how many pages from the following site are in Google News. So the site is search engine round table. So let's see how many pages from search engine round table are in Google News. Okay, 75, and it's worth noting Google News only keeps news articles, as far as I'm aware, from the last 30 days. So 75 news articles from this site in the last 30 days. And this site, Search Engine Roundtable, is specifically for the search engine industry, and it's a blog with news and articles. And obviously they suggested to Google News that their site would be a good news source, and Google's approved it. So if your site gets approved as a Google News source, you can get a lot of traffic, a lot of visitors from people visiting Google News. And actually, if I go to the front of Google News, okay, I've gone to the front page of Google News, and I've scrolled down to the bottom rather, and the link you're interested in is about Google News. If we click that, and this is quite a long page, so I'll scroll down, and at this time, number 26, what if I don't see my favorite news source in Google News? You can get in touch with them here and suggest a news source. I want to recommend a news source. So obviously if your site does have news, is up to date, and maybe even may perhaps help if your site is industry specific rather than a general news site. So, if you feel your site is relevant for Google News, then there's no harm at all in suggesting it as a Google News source. However, if you don't have such a site currently set up, then it can be quite a bit of work to set one up and keep it updated very regularly. And it is a possibility that Google News won't approve a site that's brand new. Obviously a site that's been around longer has more authority generally. So, there may be something to bear in mind. However, let me open up a new tab. And press release sites like prweb.com. You can submit your press release for free here, and it doesn't even need to be particularly professionally written. It's in my experience, whenever I've submitted press releases, they are reviewed by editors. They don't allow absolutely anything into their press release database. But it doesn't have to be professional, just a few paragraphs. You can just use the format of other press releases you see here. And you can literally write one in, 5, 10 or maybe 15 minutes. And I think it took me about 10 minutes to write a press release and submit it to PRweb. And you may possibly get some publicity by submitting a press release here. And you may get some people who see your press release and then visit your site. But another benefit is if you go back to Google News. Okay, if we use the site command again, but this time search for all pages within Google News that are from prweb.com, and as you can see, over 5,000 results, 5,000 pages from PR Web in the last 30 days. So that means we're actually just looking through that. Just looking through these makes it clear. Press releases submitted to PR Web also appear in Google News. So that may send you, so just by submitting a press release that way, you may get you even more traffic through Google News, and potentially, as mentioned, if you get publicity from it and other people who may view it as well. For example, reporters looking for certain stories. And actually another site you may want to submit press releases to is prleap.com. Okay, and just under 1,000 pages from PR Leap in the last 30 days. So that's some ways you can use Google News to get a lot more free traffic to a site of yours.